There are many videos showing benefits of picture performance in TV sets. However, here we try to make it in a bit different way. We have our 8K camera, and then we will cover for you clarity, what it means for picture processing. We will cover contrast, what it means for HDR capabilities. We will also cover color and ability to reproduce them, then motion, and then we will finish with screen capabilities. First important picture processing step is clarity. Here we talk about resolution you see and ability to see all the details. Here you see in perfect clarity myself and also the details behind. But the trick we play here is aperture f11 in the camera, so then we don't have any cinematic feeling. And if we switch to aperture f2.8, we will have cinematic feeling. You see in all the shots is to have very sharp foreground, like my face, like my glasses. And then all the background which is behind me is just blurred. Clarity is not only resolution and upscaling, but artificial intelligence we use in our products help us also to classify the content, separate the foreground, so what you see as my face, and the background, and process it separately. So my face looks as you see colors, and all the background is processed in a way that we maintain all the details, contrast and colors. Contrast is the most important part of picture quality. Here in this dark scenario, we can cover several scenarios. Peak brightness, as we have specular lights behind me, so 2200 nits the TV set can deliver, we can use them. We have also a high native contrast of the panel, as you see really deep blacks. And then, of course, we have hundreds of dimming zones. And on top of this, we have also suppression of the blooming. So all the speculars in this HDR video we have are without blooming and look as you might see them in the real world. The next in picture processing is color. Here we use just this very beautiful background to show you how a mini LED and QLED can reproduce perfectly colors. So you see my face, which is memory color, and many of you know me, saw me. And then you see this beautiful tulips and everything around us as the natural picture you really see in your standard world. Next in picture processing is motion and ability to reproduce properly motion. We all like cinematic feeling. Cinematic feeling means that a video is in 24p. And then to have cinematic feeling effect, we need 180 degrees of shutter, which for us, for our world, is 1/150 of the second of the shutter speed. And what it means that there are not so many motion phases, so the cars which are moving behind me are not very sharp. And as you sit very close to the screen, you don't have enough number of motion phases, and we need motion interpolation. Another example and more adverse example of cinematic feeling is 360 shutter, which is 1/25 of the second, and you see the cars are not sharp at all behind me because we have very long shutter. And the most adverse case of the judder you can see on the large screen is when we set the shutter to 1/500, and then the cars behind me are sharp because we have a very short shutter, but we have also extremely visible judder because there are not enough motion phases your eye can see. And that's why here we also need motion interpolation. The last thing is screen and its capability of very wide viewing angle, also anti-reflection coating. And here, by playing the trick of true black, you see that how we suppress the light which is going to the screen and is not reflected from the screen. What is key is how we can reproduce HDR, and today we have very specific weather with very bright sun, and we have behind me, for example, parts of buildings which are extremely bright, and then we have to map them correctly. So that's why we provide in our products different ways of mapping the content to see details on the screen. Today we have a very bright sun, but behind me there are many dark areas you can see, but we can also artificially make speculars, and then you see I use my watch just to do speculars to your screen, and then that's why you can see thousands of nits bright picture. HDR is ability to display the picture how you see it in the real world. So for the purpose of this shot and demonstration of HDR, we have very adverse light conditions. I'm in the shadow, we have our tulips in the bright light, and then in the first step you see how it is recorded by the camera. It's extremely flat. Then we do transformation, you start to see something, but still it is far from HDR. And then the magic starts, so when the graders start to act and deliver the creative intent of this production, and you start to see all the colors, all the benefits of HDR grading. One of the most complex HDR processing scenarios you see here. We have very bright sun, I have bright shirt, and we have white wall behind me. So we have very high APL level, average picture level, and by this the wall and shirt will be much above 1000 nits, and we will have very high APL level of the picture.